going to join us in just a moment to talk about the death of Frank Hugh Jackson. That is the grandson of Mayor Frank Jackson. We're still getting details in overnight, but she has been following the very latest. Then we're going to talk Browns, because I know a lot of you packed into the stadiums, or maybe you are watching from home or from your favorite local watering hole. We're going to talk to Dave Chudowski here in a second about the Browns game and what we can expect from the team moving ahead. But first, let's check in with Holly Strano, because we love summer. We want to hold on to it as long as we can, but it looks like time's running out.
It's running out fast, at least this week. So yeah, I mean, it's technically summer. Autumn arrives on Wednesday. It's going to be in the 80s again today. It was an awesome weather weekend, speaking of the Browns. And then today, the only difference, other than partly to mostly cloudy skies, will be just a spotty shower chance towards evening, but it's going to be warm. We'll be into the middle 80 zone again. And then tomorrow we'll have showers likely at times, upper 70s to near 80. Wednesday is the official start of autumn. And just like that, we're in the 60s for highs. So That's below normal for this time of the year. And then we're going to stay in the 60s through the rest of the week into this weekend. We're going to have plenty of rain to track too. It looks like on Wednesday, the rain could even be heavy at times. So I'll be keeping you updated for the week.
All right. But tomorrow you think that we'll be able to get outside at certain points and enjoy a little bit more weather?
Scattered. Tomorrow morning's commute, when you're watching our show, which starts at 4:30, we're going to have wet weather at that point for sure.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right, Holly, run off. You can do some weather for WTAM, and we'll check back in with Holly throughout the show, throughout the Today Show. You can tune in and get updates from her. All right, Lindsey Buckingham is going to join us here in a minute, so we'll get to that breaking news in just a moment. But Dave, hey, big morning for Cleveland. I mean, you were predicting it. You were saying that we were going to hopefully be celebrating a win. What do you think about yesterday?
Well, I think early on we were starting to wonder, right? I mean, Tyrod Taylor, former Browns quarterback, really motivated to take down his former team. And early on, the Texans had that lead, 14-7. But I think, watching it, when he got hurt and didn't play in the second half, that was obviously a huge help. But I never felt like they were going to lose the game. I felt like they would eventually get control. And offensively, they did, just because I didn't think the Texans would be able to handle the Browns running attack, which just wears you down as the game goes on. And that's what happened with Chubb and Hunt. You got a little Felton in there. The rookie scored a big touchdown as well. So I just felt like one of the things we've talked about heading into the season, if there was a concern at all, it was the defense and all these new players meshing together. And I think we saw that yesterday and also last week. So after 2 games, there's definite concern about the defense. And, that's why I thought it was a little bit, there are a lot of people that are, obviously we love to talk Super Bowl and say that, but there's just so much that has to happen before you can get there. It's not an easy road. And whereas I will say after 2 weeks where I thought the Browns were, top 4 teams in the AFC, I think it's a little more clustered than I originally thought. I mean, Tennessee had a big win yesterday. The Raiders beat the Steelers. Pittsburgh. I mean, I'm telling you what, it is going to be a battle in the AFC this year. It really is. Wow. So buckle up. And the good news, though, is that we're part of the ride, right? There's so many years where we're not even invited to the party. We're part of the party right now because, they have the talent. And they're, in the past, they would lose a game like yesterday. So, they get the win 31-21. Chubb scores another touchdown. And now it's the Bears. They host the Bears this coming Sunday. Hey, you go 2-1, and that's exactly where I thought they'd be, 2-1. You don't beat the Chiefs. You played well. You win at home against Houston. Get the win next week, and then we'll take it from there. Then you go on the road for a couple games.
Something I asked you on air, and if people were watching, sorry, I'm going to repeat it, but when we're talking about that the Browns defense needs a little bit more work, how's that going to match up with the Bears offense for next weekend? What do you think?
Yeah, so the Bears actually had a nice win yesterday. They're 1-1. They beat the Bengals 20-17, and I think a lot of people, thought maybe Cincinnati might. I guess that could have gone either way, but the Bears were at home. You saw the debut of Justin Fields, the Ohio State quarterback, who I think is going to have a really nice NFL career. He got his first work yesterday. Andy Dalton got hurt. They have a good running back, David Montgomery, and they have a really good arsenal of receivers. So, they're definitely going to bring, I would say a better offense than Houston brought. Houston surprised me, no doubt. I think I said this I know I said it, Maureen. I predicted that the Browns would win 31-17. They won 31-21, but I thought that 31-17 would be like they were up 31-7 or 31-10, and then Houston would score late. Like I thought the Browns would be in control all game. I didn't see the Browns having to come back to win. So I think I think Chicago has the better offense than Houston. But again, you have injuries, Landry got hurt yesterday. That's one thing that definitely could derail the train, a lot of injuries. So you got to stay healthy. It was good to see Grant Delpit, the safety for the Browns, in his first action yesterday.
That was a great sack.
He had
the sack, right?
Yeah.
I'm remembering that, right? Yeah.
Yep,
okay.
Yep. He looked great. So listen, this defense can be good or even great. It's just not there yet. It's a work in progress. So we'll see what happens.
Did Baker scare you when he went and tackled?
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure all of Cleveland was scared, right? But he's a gamer, though. I mean, he comes right back in and then runs one in for the touchdown. So one thing you're going to get from Baker is, regardless of how he looks doing it, he's going to give you his all. I mean, no doubt the guy's a gamer. Yeah,
he puts on a show for sure. I mean, there's never a dull moment with Baker. All right, so Browns fans, leave your comments in the comment section. Let's all relish in this victory Monday, because we've had, as Dave even said on the air, decades where it didn't happen. So we're excited about the season, and just, I know everybody's exhausted, but it's a good kind of exhausted today after celebrating yesterday. All right, so now that Lindsay's here, we want to get to that breaking news that we've been following all morning, and this really happened last night, and we've been following the details overnight. Frank Q. Jackson, who is the grandson of Mayor Frank Jackson, was shot and killed last night. This was right around 9:00 last night, right, Lindsay?
Yes. First of all, I apologize for being tardy.
No, it's okay.
Couldn't quite get on the computer there, but yes. So this all happened last night. We learned about it. Police confirmed a little while later that it was Mayor Jackson's grandson. He's 24-year-old Frank Q. Jackson. Now, it happened right off of East 70th and Sidaway, which is part of a housing complex. We don't know what happened. We're not sure what the details are, but we do know that, they're trying to figure it out. I know there was a lot of police and ATF agents on scene. They were there for hours. At one point, Mayor Jackson and Chief Calvin Williams showed up on the scene. And from what our cameras captured, he was obviously talking to officers on scene, trying to figure out what happened, and then got back into a car, which took him away. Again, this happened at the Garden Valley Estates public housing complex. That was East 70th and Sidaway. Here's where it gets a little bit interesting. So the grandson has an extensive past with police. So the first incident was back in 2019. He was charged with misdemeanor assault for allegedly getting into a fight with his girlfriend. I think he received 18 months probation for that. And then most recently, he was charged with felonious assault after allegedly dragging an officer in Parma as he was trying to flee in his car. He posted bond, I believe, for $10,000 back in July, and he was due in court again for that incident in November. So that's where we are right now. We haven't heard from Mayor Jackson. Police are saying they don't have any suspects. They're asking people to call them or leave a tip on Crime Stoppers. They say that anyone with information could receive up to $5,000 cash as a reward. But right now, a lot of chatter on social media, just really doing this. They're extending condolences to Mayor Jackson, because despite where you fall on the political spectrum or what you think of Mayor Jackson, he lost his grandson last night, or what you think of. So he's a mayor to us, but today he's a grandson, or a grandfather rather, who is grieving for his grandson. So it'll be interesting interesting to see what he has to say about his grandson and all of what happened today.
Yeah, and I know we had video of him on the scene last night. I mean, he went to the location along with Police Chief Calvin Williams to be there as officers investigated, which just you see that video and it's just, I don't know if I could put myself in his shoes and think about what it's like to be there as the grandfather and the mayor.
Right.
And then this violence in the city of Cleveland is not short, and we've had a lot of it in the headlines. And I know it's something that he's battled his whole tenure as mayor, and now this hits super close to home for him. I mean, you can't get any closer to home. So we'll see how he responds today and how he handles it moving forward. You're right. It's just heartbreaking as you think of it as, a grandfather losing his grandson. But we also in the news are no stranger to Frank Q. Jackson. He's been in our headlines a lot. So we'll just have to see how this unfolds and if they find a suspect and some of the details of what they know, how this led up to a murder last night. So, all right. Well, we have a lot to talk about, obviously, on this Monday morning, and we know that it's going to be a busy week. So make sure you stay tuned to us at WKYC. We have the Go Show, 4:30 to 7 a.m. every morning. And then we post again like this with you interacting again on Friday. So everybody have a great week. Thanks again for spending